right, y'all. Time to Shine Radio. It's your girl, Moo Legend, and we are back right here with our next guest. And this is Realtor, Mentor, and Coach, Miss Nicole Thornton. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. Thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
No doubt. So introduce yourself to the people.
Absolutely. So my name is Nicole Thornton. I am a Realtor, Mentor, and Coach with eXp Realty Team TCRG. And I have been in the real estate industry since 2020.
Okay.
Prior to that, I was in the banking and finance industry for 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah, long time.
That's a long time. That's almost older than me. That's awesome. So what made you want to get into the real estate industry?
I love helping people.
Okay.
And yes. And, real estate is one of those things where people aspire to own real estate, and sometimes they don't know exactly what they need to do in order to become a homeowner. And because of my background in banking and finance, it just made sense.
Okay.
So it was an opportunity for me to create generational wealth for my family, for my daughter, and then helping people.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And helping people.
Helping
I love that.
people, absolutely.
So is it, what is the name of the business? I don't want to get it wrong.
It is eXp Realty.
Okay.
And so it's Team TCRG, brokered by eXp Realty.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I didn't want to mess that up, y'all. I didn't want to mess it up. So with your realty group, so how do you market your business?
Well, there's a couple of different things that I do to market it. And actually, I got my first listing from social media.
Shut it up.
Believe it or not. Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Facebook.
Okay.
So there's a couple of different things that we do as agents to market ourselves. Social media heavily. Posting about, listings that we have available, houses that we believe are great investments for investors. We also talk about what you can do in the business in order to acquire property. So there's social media. We also door knock, believe it or not. And there are a couple of different other resources that are available to real. Yeah, it's called cold calling back in the day.
For sure.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't like it. You know what I mean? I did it in my banking and finance career for years. And so I've been able to implement that into selling real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and how important is it to communicate with your clients?
Oh my goodness. I believe in over communicating versus under communicating, right? So I may tell you something 5 times. Did you understand me? Did you get it? You sure you understand? You right? You got it? Yeah? Okay.
Make sure they get it.
Yes. Because no matter how many times you say it, and no matter how many ways you say it, they may come back and say, well, I didn't understand that. Right. So it is critical to communicate everything involved in that real estate transaction, because you're dealing with people's money, and you're not talking about a small amount of money, right? In some cases, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you want to make sure that your client is protected and that you're communicating everything to them correctly.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to talk about buying, and then we're going to talk about selling. Okay. So first we're going to talk about selling.
All right.
Okay. So how would you recommend how to tell a client how to price their property?
So there are a couple of different resources that we as agents have access to.
Okay.
And those are the tools that we utilize as realtors to help them determine a price. Okay. So I'm looking for comparables, which are homes that have sold in their community, typically within a 1 to 2 mile radius.
Okay.
And I'm looking at like the square footage, the bedrooms and the baths. I'm looking at the condition of the home compared to the comparables. And that's going to help me make a recommendation. So ultimately it is the seller's decision as to what they like to sell it for. I'm here to help.
Okay. Right. So does it matter like what the other houses, like the neighbor houses, are going for? Does that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because once they've sold, they become a comparable. And an appraiser is going to use 3 comparables, typically within that community, within a 1 mile radius, to determine the value of the home. So yes, those comparables are important, but it depends on what that potential buyer is willing to pay for it. Sometimes, in COVID, we were getting as agents offers $30,000 and $40,000 above asking. It was crazy. It was like, what's going on here? So now we're back to some sense of normalcy. Where buyers are asking for closing costs. They want to come in $20,000 below asking. You're like, wait a minute now.
Hold on.
6 months ago we was $30,000 above asking. Okay, now we $20,000 below. So it just really depends on what the buyer is willing to pay for it and what's most important to the seller.
Okay, absolutely. I love that, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay, and like, what is like a good marketing game plan once someone wants to sell their home?
Well, if first of all, it's partnering with the right agent. I can't tell you how many owners will try to accomplish that sale by themselves.
Really? Ugh. You get a lot of that?
That's scary. Yes. Because you want to make sure as an owner you're protected.
Okay.
And having the right realtor who understands not only the market, but reviewing those offers for you, making sure that you're selecting the best offer based on what you want to accomplish.
For sure.
And so for a seller to market their home, first starting with the correct agent and then allowing that agent to have professional photos taken of the home to make sure that if it needs light staging or if it needs full staging, they're offering that service as well. And then utilizing the platforms that we have access to as agents to help market the property.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the event, like if someone has a home and then they have all of their stuff in there and they're trying to sell it and it's like not in a good condition, what advice would you give them?
Declutter.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Period.
So, internet buyers are totally different. Like when I was growing up and I bought my first house, I wanted to go see it. I wanted to touch it. I wanted to feel it. Now, internet buyers, they're looking at your pictures online. And if you got stuff all over the counter, you got clothes everywhere, there are some people that can't get past that, right? Wow. And so when you're looking at a property online, what I encourage my sellers is to declutter. And imagine if you were looking for a home. You want to be able to visualize yourself living there. You want to see your couch sitting over here, your chair over there, your TV on that wall. And if you have a lot of stuff everywhere, it's really difficult to accomplish that.
It is.
Yep.
Okay. So declutter.
Yep. Put all your personal belongings in boxes, because you're selling your house, right?
Exactly.
You almost want it to feel like it's a model home.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you on that because because you did a lot of sales with Zillow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what's the like for Zillow? Is it like certain criteria you have to put your house on there?
Well, so Zillow is the platform. Zillow does a couple of different things. A while back they were buying a lot of houses, and so they're no longer doing that.
Okay.
The partnership that Team TCRG has with Zillow is to represent buyers that are contacting them for homes they'd like to tour. And so we have a huge partnership with them. In fact, we're ranked amongst the top 5 in Georgia that partner with Zillow.
Top 5?
Yep. We sold over 50 million with Zillow last year, and this year we'll probably exceed that number. So that partnership for us is huge, and so agents love it. If you're just getting started in the industry and you really don't have that referral source built up, you don't have that pipeline, where you have those opportunities coming to you. Zillow was my bread and butter when I first started. And for a lot of new agents, that's what it does. It helps you to build your pipeline, and then you start to get personal referrals from them.
Right.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. Okay. Absolutely.
Like you swear by that one.
Hey, it's a game changer. I'm telling you. Within my first 90 days of selling real estate, I sold over $1 million.
What?
Within my first full year, I sold almost $11 million.
Dang.
Yeah.
Off
it's a
of
game
Zillow?
changer. Not all off of Zillow.
Okay,
but a nice amount of that. My first 90 days, I would say probably half of that over $1 million came from Zillow. Wow. And last year, out of that almost 11 million, I believe 3 million of that was from Zillow. Dang. This year, I've done a lot more personal, and I was the sales manager for Team TCRG before we transferred over to EXP. Right. So even this year, I probably will end right at about 10 million.
Dang. Okay.
God been good to me.
Come on, God. Brag on it for a second.
Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
Won't he will?
Will he want it?
No, I freaking love that. So, and how do you introduce selling a home to other realtors? Like, do you have to have a relationship with other realtors?
Well, I'll tell you, relationships are extremely important.
Y'all heard that?
Extremely important in selling real estate. Because there are 2 different types of agents.
Okay.
If you're a listing agent, you're representing the seller.
Correct.
And if you're a seller's agent, you're representing the buyer.
Okay.
And a lot of us do both. You're going to run into those agents a lot.